Would you choose to erase painful memories if you could? What if everything you know about yourself, your identity, your choices, your beliefs, was shaped by pain? What if the very experiences you wish you could forget are also the ones that define you? Now imagine you had the power to erase those painful memories. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the regrets, the moments that still wake you up at night. With a simple procedure, you could wipe them away, leaving behind only the good. No more intrusive thoughts, no more painful recollections, no more lingering wounds from the past. Would you do it? At first, the answer seems obvious. Who wouldn't want to be free from suffering? Who wouldn't want to erase the scars of their past and live without the weight of painful experiences? But before we decide, we have to ask, what would be left of us if we erased the past? Would we be happier, or would we be hollow? Would we feel lighter, or would we feel lost? This question isn't just a philosophical thought experiment. Science is on the brink of making memory erasure a reality, raising profound ethical and psychological dilemmas. What happens to personal growth when we remove hardship? What happens to justice when we erase accountability? And ultimately, if we could forget, should we? For centuries, philosophers and scientists have debated whether memory is truly permanent. Is forgetting an organic, natural process, or could it be controlled? What if we had the ability to rewrite our past? Neuroscientists today believe that memories are not static. Every time you recall a memory, your brain reconstructs it, making small changes based on your emotions, biases, and new experiences. This process is known as memory reconsolidation, and it suggests that our past is far more fluid than we assume. Scientists are now experimenting with ways to alter, suppress, or erase painful memories. Pharmaceutical memory suppression. Researchers have found that drugs like propranolol, a beta blocker used for high blood pressure, can potentially dull the emotional intensity of traumatic memories. PTSD patients given propranolol while recalling a traumatic event reported feeling emotionally detached from those memories later. Targeted memory. Erasure. Studies at Columbia University suggest that specific proteins in the brain play a crucial role in storing memories. By manipulating these proteins in mice, scientists were able to weaken or completely erase certain memories without affecting others. Optogenetics and memory editing. At MIT, researchers have used light-based techniques to alter memory associations in animals. They were able to turn positive memories into negative ones and vice versa, implying that one day we could reshape our past to make painful events feel neutral or even pleasant. Electroconvulsive therapy, ECT. In extreme cases, ECT has led to patients losing chunks of their memory entirely. Though not its intended purpose, it raises an ethical dilemma. If we could selectively induce memory loss, would we? These breakthroughs suggest that controlling memory is no longer science fiction. It's science fact. But what happens when we start tampering with something so fundamental to our identity? Pain is something we instinctively try to avoid, but what if we need it? Think about a time in your life when pain changed you. Maybe it was a failed relationship that taught you how to set boundaries. Maybe it was losing someone that made you appreciate time. Maybe it was failure that forced you to become stronger, more determined. If you could erase those moments, would you still be the same person? Pain, as unbearable as it can be, is also a catalyst for growth. Psychologists refer to this as post-traumatic growth, the idea that adversity forces us to evolve. Dr. Richard Tedeschi, a psychologist who pioneered research on post-traumatic growth, found that many people who endure hardship report greater personal strength, deeper appreciation for life, and stronger relationships. Pain shapes resilience. It builds empathy. It teaches us lessons we couldn't learn otherwise. Would we still be capable of deep love if we never experienced heartbreak? Would we appreciate success if we never knew failure? Would we become wiser if we never made mistakes? If pain is what refines us, what happens to the self when it is removed? Imagine a world where we could selectively erase any memory we didn't want. Would victims of severe trauma, abuse, war, violence finally be able to heal? Would criminals erase their guilt and repeat the same mistakes? Would society forget its darkest moments and lose the lessons of history? Philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche warned against the eternal return, the idea that without remembering pain, we are doomed to repeat it. History has proven that forgetting leads to cycles of destruction. If we erased the horrors of war from our collective consciousness, would we repeat them? Would a person who erases the pain of their mistakes ever truly grow? And if we had the ability to erase guilt, would people use it as a moral loophole, erasing their wrongdoings instead of facing the consequences? Imagine a world where politicians erase scandals, corporations erase failures, abusers erase their victims' trauma. Memory isn't just personal. It's the foundation of accountability. Without it, justice disappears. What happens when we forget? We often think of memory erasure as removing pain, but would it also erase joy? Would you still treasure the good moments of your life if they weren't balanced by struggle? Would you appreciate happiness if you had never known sadness? Memory is interconnected. A single event can shape 1,000 others. Consider Henry Molaison, HM, a patient who lost his ability to form new long-term memories after brain surgery. He was free from emotional suffering, but also trapped in an endless present. He had no sense of self, no ability to evolve, no continuity of experience. If we start removing pieces of our past, at what point do we stop being us? The final question, would you do it? Let's return to the question at hand. If you had the ability to erase your most painful memories, would you? Would you erase the heartbreak that taught you to love differently? Would you erase the failures that made you try harder? Would you erase the moments that made you who you are today? Or would you accept that pain, as unbearable as it can be, is also part of the human experience? The real question isn't just about erasing memories, it's about whether we truly understand the value of pain. Pain is a cruel teacher, but it is also a necessary one. So maybe, just maybe, the key isn't to erase pain, but to learn from it, to grow from it, to transform it into something meaningful. Because if pain shapes us, then forgetting it might mean losing something far greater than just a memory. It might mean losing ourselves. The final question, would you do it?